guys? So last week during a live stream and the week before, I got a couple DMs on Instagram. I got a couple messages in the chat and in our Discord saying, Johnny, when are you going to go live with Breaking Bad Boxing? When are you going to go live with Nick? Guess what, guys? You asked, I deliver. Nick is on this live stream. Before we get it started, I want to say thank you to all the new subscribers. Guys, if you haven't joined the Discord, that link is pinned in the comment section below. It's a couple bucks a month. Nick's in the Discord, obviously. There's a bunch of other guys. So on the stream today, the boys with the blue stars, those are VIP insiders. Get all your betting options there. And we had fights last night. We talked about it on the first live stream. We got fights this weekend. If you're not following Nick, his YouTube channel is pinned as well, Breaking Bad Boxing. It's one of the first comments. Give him a follow. Other than that, how you doing, buddy? What's going on?
I'm good, Johnny. Appreciate you having me on. Like I said, appreciate the platform more than anything. It's almost like a full circle moment for me. Been following for you for a while, watching your breakdowns, commenting on your videos for years at this point, and now just being on your live, man, is pretty dope to say the least. So I appreciate you having me on, man, and giving me the platform.
Bro, you're doing good. You're doing good work, man. Like I said, some of the boys will be following you already. Hopefully, we get a big pop and they go over to your channel. There's just not a lot of boxing heads, and I know you're in MMA as well. You do good MMA breakdowns and you train. There's just not a lot of boxing heads. It was my intention a couple years ago when I kind of pivoted just to boxing, because on the YouTube space it was so divisive. There were just a lot of kind of fanboy channels and a lot of disrespect going towards specific fighters. And my whole goal has always been, let me do this analytically. Let me do this logically. Let me do this with as much non-opinionated bias as I can. And so when I found your channel, I didn't even realize, I was telling you off air, I didn't even realize you were Nick Clark following me. I just would watch your breakdowns when you first launched. So that's why I invited you on, and you do a really good job, and keep it up. Did you have action last night in Australia?
Yeah, so I did the Cardinal Sin. I had a parlay going, but I'm not a huge parlay guy. I'm big on straights, finding props and values in straights. Thankfully, I did have a straight on Liam Wilson rounds 1 through 5. I was very confident in Liam Wilson round 1 through 5. When I saw the little bit of tape on Jorge Santana, he stood straight up tall in the pocket, lacked head movement, backed up in straight lines, and it seemed like he got his back caught against the ropes multiple times. And the minute we saw Liam Wilson start going downhill, we know what happens then at that point here. That temple shot was incredible. So I had a straight bet on Liam Wilson 1 through 5. Also had a straight bet that I gave out on my Twitter, Liam Paro by KO. I was swayed by the weigh-ins. I can't lie. The sunk face of David kind of swayed me one way. And that was a tough fight for Paro, to say the least. I don't think he really showed out on the world level that he was hoping to. Another thing I took into consideration for my knockout bet too is seems like Aussie refs and no limit promotions in general are just quick to pull the trigger for stoppages in their promotions. So what up, boys? By the way, everybody in the comments, good to see y'all. So that's so I did have a little bit of action the rounds 1 through 5 for Liam Wilson. I had the Paro KO, and then I had them both parlayed. So ended up still making up on the morning, little waking cash for me, because technically it was like 4 a.m. when I woke up to watch it.
Yeah, you bring up a good point. You talked about what you saw on the tape. You talked about you were kind of like strayed towards the weigh-in. So the guys who follow my channel, been on the live stream for a while, they know to take, because I'll do my intuitive picks the beginning of the week, and then maybe I'll overfilm, or I'll start overthinking, and then I'll change. So some of the boys, because I got burned too. I thought I flip-flopped. I had Liam Paro by stoppage based off of the record, the weigh-ins. And then one of the boys, though, said, hey, I hit on your first picks, because the first ones were Wilson, knockout in the under, and then Paro by decision. So some of the boys actually listened to me initially, which is good. And then, I ended up hitting on the money line. I just did the like you said, a lot of these Aussie cards, no limit. They're just feeding these guys just to get the records to a position to go on the world stage. What do you think, when you did you get to watch the full Paro Popo fight, or did you just see the highlights?
No, I watched both the Liam Wilson and the Santana fight and the Paro Popo fight. I wanted to watch the Jacob NG fight, but I heard it ended via like an Achilles injury or something of that nature, something freakish.
Yes.
So I'm glad I didn't wake up for that.
It was a free tore his Achilles. My question was, though, when you said that Liam Paro, you probably get the sort of idea that he feels, and he would admit that he didn't sort of have the performance that he wanted on the world stage. When you watch that fight, what do you think was the reason? What, like, if you had to identify a couple different factors about Pero's performance, what did you see?
So two biggest things. Clearly, he had issues with the eyes, and he couldn't get past. Which I was surprised about Popo's straight shots. Popo's
Hmm.
straight shots looked really sharp, really down the pipe. And from the tape that I saw, really quickly to caveat before the tape that I saw on Popo was two separate fighters. He either wanted to be a hands down slickster and try to move defensively too sharp, or he was in a high guard and he would try to maraud and brawl with you.
Hmm.
This was a completely different version of Popo than I've seen, where he was fighting behind straight shots. He seemed to gas a little bit in the later rounds, but Paro had a hard time getting past his straight shots and underneath the straight shots, and he never put his foot on the gas when Popo finally slowed down in the later rounds. It seemed like, you hear me use this term all the time, Johnny. Gears.
Hmm.
Paro seemed to never once go through the gears and never put his foot on the gas for Popo. I scored at 7-5 for Paro, and I thought he won in the later rounds, but I definitely thought he could have put on more body work. He could have gotten
Hmm.
under Popo's straight punches, and he could have
Hmm.
put his hands, could have went through the gears, to say the least. And I don't think he did any of those things. It was,
Yeah,
of course, that eye was a mess, mate. I
yeah.
thought Popo could have also stepped on the gas and possibly got him out of there due to a doctor stoppage in that eye. So
Yeah, it was similar. I scored it similar. 7-5, could have been 8-4. The adversity that Perro had to fight through, though, one side of me is like, wow, I was worried. It could have. I thought it could. If it got worse, it could have been stopped. Hats off to his cut man in his corner for kind of keeping it under wraps. But I didn't expect Popo to be as crafty. I didn't expect him. Also, I don't think Perro ever had a guy, or I don't think Liam Perro ever had a guy in front of him talking shit and sort of mocking him too. Which you mix that with the eye and then the stage. It was one of the first times I saw Liam not be locked in. He was, you know what I mean? It was bothering him. All those sort of factors.
do you think as well that the physicality of Popo had an issue with it? I felt like early in the fight, Popo was really bullying him, wide backing him, as I call it, just pushing him into corners and positions that Pero doesn't necessarily like to be in. And as we saw with Pero, was it Jonathan Navarro? He was able to move the whole fight that he wanted to, fight behind his jab, retract his jab all he wanted to, and follow behind straight shots. Subaru Matias had to do a lot of clinching and minimizing. This fight, he was unable to clinch and minimize, especially early against Popo. The physicality, it's like he was shrugging him off of him almost. So I
Yeah,
thought the physicality was a big issue too, as well.
and we kind of knew that it was Liam's first fight at 47. We know that Popo missed weight. Popo's had fights, check his box rec at 160 pounds, and I kind of wish, because I didn't find this out until the live stream. A lot of the David Popo write-ups are in French. I don't speak French. I didn't know he had this massive amateur, like 100+ fight um, kickboxing record. I didn't know that. And what that tells you, when you have that many pro fights in anything, in any combat sport, you're going to have a degree of just sort of smoothness to you. You're going to have a degree of like being able to operate at a certain energy level. And I would have loved to see, and we saw that. I wasn't expecting that, by the way. All the tape I saw on Popo, I mean, I saw him fight negative a lot of the fights. I was
Sorry
kind of,
about that.
it's all good. I was kind of shocked how aggressive he was being and how little body work Liam Paro was investing in and how little he would throw his lead hook, no uppercuts. But there's a lot to take with it, and it's a tough, brutal fight, man. We'll see what happens. We'll see if he gets that Donovan fight at 47.
One thing I didn't take into account when I was taping this fight is how little Liam Black's punch variation. He doesn't have much punch variation, man. It's really
Yeah,
straight shots, your simple hooks to the body. He doesn't even have much of a doesn't have a huge uppercut variation, not great shovel selection. I just wasn't necessarily high on this performance by Pero. And I do kind of fear that maybe he peaked at that performance versus Subaru Matias. I mean, against Hitchens, he fought valiantly. He had a good first 4 rounds against Hitchens, but then the athleticism and the long jab of Hitchens, the minute he got out of go mode, gave him a lot of trouble. So I don't
yeah,
know.
we'll see.
What does Pero do from here? I mean, it is the IBF Eliminator versus Crocker, but how would you see that fight going?
Crocker. Yeah, so 22-0. I actually scored the fight for Donovan. Those two knockdowns, people put a lot of relevance to it. I mean, he doesn't do a lot. He doesn't have a lot of volume. I think the game plan if Paro does get that fight is to do what Liam does. I wish he would have stuck to his feints early on. His foot feints were getting Popo to bite, and he was being able to land his backhand. But the thing with Paro is he falls in love with the backhand. He started head hunting, and another thing psychologically, he was fighting emotionally. You could tell, like even in the clinches, and he wanted to get it back. He wanted to get it back. He wanted to hurt him. He wanted to cut him. And the minute Popo picked up on that, that's when the taunting came out. And that's an element of boxing that doesn't get spoken about enough because you can't measure it. You don't see it in a statistic. Is the psychological advantage or disadvantage in a fight when a guy is either winning or losing? And Popo showed his veteran savvy in all of that. Man, he impressed me. I got to be honest with you. To answer your question, how does Pero do against Crockett? I think he's classier. I think he's going to have to, he looks small in there. Maybe he's an in-betweener. I know he fought at 40 his entire career. He said he almost got hospitalized a couple times due to the weight cuts at 40. So we'll see. I'm not throwing him away. He's still, he showed me a lot of grit and toughness, if anything. So I like being an optimist on that. How do you see it going?
With Crocker, I think that Pero throws out more volumes and more optics. The fact that he throws out so much more volumes and optics, which we saw with Donovan, he was trying to find that perfect shot way too many times. Just trying to find that perfect shot. And I do think Pero's feet are better than Donovan's feet. So
yeah,
I think that all leads to Pero beating Crocker eventually. When they fight eventually is what I mean by that. But again, I think 147's in disarray. Shout out to your boy Chilltown Boxing as well, TJ. He noted something. 140 to 147 pounds is a tough jump. Fighters have a tough time jumping from 140 to 147. So I just wanted to give TJ big ups on that because I'm starting to notice that more and more as I go back in history and start to research it a bit more. So
yeah, I want to give a shout out to Julius Super Chat. We appreciate you. He says prospect of the year so far. I'll answer this first. The prospect of the year. I mean, are we talking globally? Or are we talking American? I'll just, I'm not one to give away awards. I was asked this question earlier. 3 of my favorite prospects, American wise, I like Josh Edwards. I like the heavyweight. I think he's shown me a lot. I also I like Velsant. He's a southpaw, fights at welterweight, 147 pounds from, I think, South Florida. He's a fun little prospect. And there's a lot of them. But prospect of the year, would you call Ituama a prospect? I mean, he's a contender. How do we define prospect, right, Nick? How do you
well, they can't fight on a world stage like Ayatuma has against a
So
prospect
he's a contender now.
And White was ranked in the top 20 of 2 different sanctioning bodies, even with his inactivity. So you can't call him that. Scooter Davis.
Kamel Moten?
Scooter Davis is someone that I would consider as like a solid prospect. Scooter Davis, who has only fought up to an 8-round fight at this point. He's never fought past those gears at this point.
Okay.
I got kind of smoked. I got smoked.
I like
Caden
Griffiths.
White.
I like Caden Griffiths, the southpaw, the
Golden
white kid from I think he's from Arizona. The southpaw, Madrimov brought Caden Griffiths in as a sparring partner when he was 17. So I would say Caden or Josh Edwards for me.
Golden Boy, baby. So like Golden Boy has a few good prospects, as you show with your boy Josh Edwards too as well. Josh Edwards is someone I'm very high on. I mean, I would say Scooter Davis is probably my personal favorite prospect. Our boy Mar, I don't know if he's in the chat right now, but our boy Mar, his boy Ruslan Abduliev fights this weekend. I know he's very high on that guy too as well. Oh, there's Mar right there, my boy. What up, Mar? What up, Brando Light, boxing fan? What up, everybody? Good to see y'all, man.
The boys are here, boy.
For real, man. Mar the Prince. For real. So they showed up.
You talked about Abdulayev. He's fighting Kevin Johnson. This is a fight. I brought KJ up. He's not a household name. KJ's like, what? I think he's 12-7. He started off 12-2, 5 straight losses, never been stopped. And I went on this whole rant earlier about Kevin Johnson. He's kind of an example of what kind of happened on a broader scale to Emmanuel Augustus, not having a promoter, not having anyone backing you, always coming in as the B side. And Kevin Johnson's kind of turning into that guy. The question will be, can Abdulayev be the first guy to stop Kevin Johnson? Kevin Johnson's a smooth, slick pro. So I know Abdulayev is a huge favorite, a little bit of betting action. I like the fight to go the distance based on that. So
I also like that same fight to go the distance here. Again, shout out my boy Mar. The only reason I did so much tape on Ruslan as much as I could find is due to that man. And I'm actually really heavy on that fight because of him. It was the first ever live I've ever done on Breaking Bad Boxing. He randomly came on. Mar's like an OG to my channel in this case. So shout out my guy.
He's an Ohio guy. He grew
And he
up in
brought
Ohio like myself.
that makes sense then in that case. I get along with a lot of Ohio cats. My closest, literally my closest friend, Marshall here, he's from
Yeah.
Columbus. So
Okay.
I get along with these Ohio cats for sure. So it makes a lot of sense when it's all broken down in that sense. So
Julius says Joel Ariate prospect. He's fighting this weekend, I'm pretty sure. Y'all should get the green screen and make out somewhere. Now, Rambler, look, man, I'm an old head, dude. I remember the world without the internet. I like doing my, keeping it. I think the green screen, I'm not trying to be anything I'm not. So I like keeping it gangsta.
that's fair, mate. I mean, it's crazy, man. This is like probably the first ever live I've ever been on where someone has better hair than I do, bro. Like
Oh,
it's
dude,
insane,
the
bro.
hair's gnarly.
First
Dude, you
ever
should check
time,
it.
first time for everything, mate.
You should,
First
yeah,
ever
you're,
time for
you're too
everything.
kind. The hair
This
used to
man,
be down to here when I was a weed head, but
it's funny. You can look on my Instagram. It wasn't even 6 months ago that my hair was down to here too. I was just sick of getting it braided for competitions for jujitsu all the time. So it was
nice.
just at that point, mate.
What do you think? Have you done tape on Fundora? She's fighting this
Oh
weekend.
yeah, I actually dropped my official prediction. Actually, I want to say about 4 hours ago here. So
Let's hear it.
do you mind if I rant on it a little bit?
Let's do it. You got the mic,
Sick.
big dog.
Sick. So as we know, Kubicki's taking this fight on shorter notice here for you. The one thing I do want to note about Kubicki is she's game. She's a gamer. She is going to fight one of two ways. She's offensively going to come forward, try to push her back against the ropes, let off combinations to the body, or she's going to be trying to do one of two things, which I find so hilarious. She tries to go first and third, tries to pull and counter you and catch you on the pull and counter, or she tries to plant her feet like she's Willie Pepper, Sweet Pea, and tries to put you in the matrix defensively. She's very funny with that. And we saw with Fundora's last fight against Badia, Badia tried to do the same exact thing, get lower in her levels and try to move, kind of like she was Willie Pep. So this fight for the first 4 rounds, I think, is going to be fun because Kubecki's going to meet her in the middle. Going to try to push her against the ropes. It's going to be two people going forward, and they're going to scrap. They're definitely going to scrap. Kubecki's going to let off her hands. Fundora's going to let off her hands. Fundora, as we saw against Cruz, someone that was willing to fight, was no doubt hittable. Granted, Cruz was essentially the same size, you know, opposite stances of what Kubecki's going to be bringing in this case too as well. But the minute round 4 gets going, man, once it's after round 4, Kubecki seems to lose her shape. It's going to start to get going downhill, and Fundora will eventually stop her. I love Fundora around 6 through 10, mate. Plus 155 Fundora around 6 through 10. I know Bet365 has those awesome same game parlays, so if they get it for you, you can take Fundora by stoppage over 4.5 rounds, and it will also give you a plus 100 odds. Dude, Fundora round 6 through 10 is when I think she gets it done. I favor her to get it done around 7 or 8. I just think Kubicki, who has zero head movement, can be turned both offensively and defensively. And her game again is all based on her going forward and holding you against the ropes, or her trying to be slightly a defensive slickster. And she's really not that slick whatsoever. And I think her own downfall is how game she's going to be. And I think eventually Fundora gets it done. And Fundora is someone we love to bet by knockout regardless. So
Of course. Kubicki, I mean, her nickname is the Iron Lady. She's never been stopped. World title. It's going to be her biggest stage. I always take Gabby by stoppage. I just think the bookies and the casinos have caught up to us because right now down here, Gabby by stoppage is $1.34. So like the risk versus reward, $100 gets you $34 back. I think the move though is to stoppage over or under, but I'm only getting 7.5. So that's going to be the move to take either. I could see Gabby. I mean, she's going to be tough though. This girl doesn't know how to stop that front foot battle, flat footed. Gabby punching down. She's so fun to watch. One of my favorite fighters, mate.
the
Like
one fight,
guy or
uh,
girl. She's one of my favorite.
yeah, Gabby's fun, man. Gabby can fight at good ranges. Once she gets on the inside, she doesn't
Yeah.
stop. She punches to the body. She whips that shovel hook to the body that I love. One huge thing about Kubicki, if you go watch her Linda Contreras fight, Linda
Yep.
Contreras was banging her, like popping her head back. She
Yep.
lost her shape. Linda Contreras, they tried taking that fight from her too, as well, because they tried taking a point from her for quote unquote low blows, but there was no
Uh-huh.
low blows to be had. And another thing too, as well, Kubicki has never fought in the United States before. She's fought in Colombia, she's fought in the Czech Republic to start off her career, and she's fought in Canada. According to BoxRec, this is her first time fighting, at least at the professional level, in the United States, and she's traveling all the way to California to do so. So, just another
Yeah.
thing to note.
Yeah, and her last fight was at she's had one fight at 115. She fought pretty much her whole career at 110, 109. This is a flyweight fight. Yeah, I'm not going to overthink it. Fundora by stoppage is the move. I like.
It's a very safe bet.
Yeah,
I just think that she will definitely. Fundora is not. It's kind of a slow starter too, as well. She kind of downloads and gauges the range and starts to
yeah.
step on your foot round by round. So I think
Mhm.
round 6 through 10 at plus 155 money is just great value. If you have that, I recommend taking it, mate.
I'm going to talk to TJ from Chilltown. TJ says Fundora by knockout. Has anyone taped Tiara Brown's opponent Eban Gongora? She got some shocking ability. Former Muay Thai. Think Brown on points might be the play, guys. If you're unfamiliar, Tiara is the girl who came down here against Sky and took her belt. TJ, is Gongora related to Carlos? Are they related? Does anybody know that?
I don't
Do you know?
think they are. I actually,
Okay,
that's actually one of the fights I wanted to talk about today too, as well.
open it
I don't
up.
want
Let's
to.
do it.
My bad. I just feel like I'm taking all your air time. My
Nah,
apologies
bro.
for that here.
Yeah,
So
nah, man. No. You got to understand, big dog. I bring. I've offered this to any of the boys as a platform who support the channel, man. This is open up, man. Preach
I
to us, big
appreciate it.
dog.
I
Yeah,
appreciate it. I got the pen and the paper and the tape out. So I agree with
let's
TJ.
go.
I think points is the play here. Um, I found it with Gongora that she had it's Muay Thai. I thought it was kickboxing, but she has a background in combat sports, a higher level background in combat sports. She's willing to skirt and fence along the back foot. She covers ground both offensively and defensively when she leaps in and out, which could be an issue with Tiara Brown. And while Tiara Brown does have power, she can be turned and she doesn't sit on her punches or turn over her punches. I couldn't agree with TJ more. I think Tiara Brown by points is the play here. I love the over on this play here. Tiara Brown here should win this fight, but I wouldn't be surprised if, based on her stop and start and her lunging ability, if Gongora can get some rounds off of Tiara Brown, maybe 2 or 3. So I couldn't agree with TJ. Shout out Chilltown. Points is the way to go with this. So
Let
100%
me
on
ask
that
you
too as
something
well.
then. Let me ask you something because I didn't tape it. Is Gongora having the striking background Muay Thai? Is she athletic?
She's pretty athletic, and she's this is what I actually think is funny is I actually think she's more athletic than Tiara Brown in this case. And I think
Okay.
this comes back down to two things you've already brought up here for past fights here too as well. I think that she can frustrate Tiara Brown, who can fight emotionally, we've seen at times. And that experience she has in combat sports, it's high. One thing I also though want to know that the boys in the chat are very familiar with. She has a loss in her pro debut to Rima Ayadi. Remember, boxing is a what have you done for me lately, but she has lost to Rima Ayadi also. Take that into note too as well. But couldn't agree with TJ Moore. That's a point I wanted to bring onto the show actually, is that I really like Tiara Brown by points. When I first saw the fight and I went and looked at just their box rec, doing a little bit of wiki capping, I really thought Brown by stoppage was going to be the play. And then after doing enough tape, I really couldn't agree more that it's the points is the play.
Do you think that these odds 11-1 dog for Gongora? Do you think that's fair?
I think she makes this fight a little bit closer than 11-1. I mean,
Yeah.
if someone said that they sprinkled Gongora, I wouldn't say it's the worst bet ever at 11-1. I mean,
Okay.
at 11-1, you're not expecting it to win, right? But if you're
Yeah.
sprinkling it with responsibility, why the hell not? Why not can't she take a split decision? It's women's boxing, 2-minute rounds. These rounds go by so quick. And again, one thing if you're going to be watching tape on Gongora, and if you're looking for tape, you can't find it on YouTube. Daily Motion. Another way I look for tape is too is I go to their box rec and I search the whole event and date. You can search the whole event and date, and sometimes you just have to scrub through the whole event and date. Gongoras covers ground, man. That's one thing that I love is she covers ground both offensively and defensively. Doesn't have great punch variation. Really sticks with straight shots, 1-2s, and she doesn't really punch the body a lot. But she could take a few rounds off her, and I think she's definitely tough enough to last the distance. So.
Yeah, because when Tiara came down here to Australia, I think she was 7-1. And nobody, I broke that fight down. And, Rando Lights reminded me that he goes, Johnny Tiara did beat Sky that fight. Tiara cut the ring off. Yeah, I think Sky was kind of, I don't want to use the word exposed. I think Sky was kind of impressed with how athletic Tiara Brown was. So a buddy of mine, he's on Instagram. He's one of these boxing news sites, and Mike from Thrill Boxing. And he posted on his story last night. I brought this up on an earlier stream. He asked the question, top 5 greatest Mexican fighters of all time. And in his list, he said the usual culprits, but he left out one of my favorite fighters of all time, Ricardo Lopez, El Finito. And I messaged him. I go, bro, you can't. I was like, and he was like, my bad. I'll delete it.
Do you
I
know
was like,
that's
I
my
didn't tell him
favorite
to
fighter of
delete
all
it.
time? Have you heard me say that before? Is that why you're bringing that up?
No. I'm saying that. Here's why I'm bringing this up. I'm
That's
bringing it up because Oscar Collazo is fighting this weekend, And most people say, "Who's your favorite Puerto Rican fighter?" They say Xander Zayas. They'll bring up Subro Matias. Nobody talks about
That's what
Oscar
I'd bring up.
Collazo. And I think it's because the minimum weight fighters, the lower fighters, El Finito was a minimum weight. People aren't aware on the mainstream of, if you like technical boxing, if you like speed, reflexes, aggression, volume. One of my favorite, the lower class is one of my favorite divisions. Kayato's fighting this weekend. Did you watch tape on that?
Yes, I did. I have a pretty strong read on that one too. Really quick, I want to go on a rant about Finito Lopez. If you want to
Let's
watch
go.
poetry in motion,
Yeah.
his Saul Sanchez performance, man, or his Andrew Sanchez performance. I'm sorry. Putting him in a blender, motioning left, same side punching, putting dip to his chip and making him counter every time. I'm not just saying this, mate. I've said it on my channel multiple times in lives. Finito Lopez is my all-time favorite fighter.
I didn't know that.
My
That's
concussion
good.
discussion tab, little what's it called, thumbnail, that's a outline of Finito Lopez. That's who the
Is
outline
it?
is. It is.
Okay.
That's who
So
it is Finito Lopez. So I literally, my hairs are standing up the fact that you brought him up. And he's the greatest minimum weight of all time. I love the smaller weight class fighters. He is by definition poetry in motion. The first
yeah.
ever breakdown I've ever done, I had him playing in the background of it just because I love that man so much. So let me get off of that here and we'll start
Yeah.
talking
No.
about Jason Vayson just because I loved it so much. My bad.
Yeah,
Yeah.
no, man. So like when I first started doing my YouTube channel, I was doing these sort of like archive documentary storytelling because I've done documentaries in the past. Real documentaries was in a film, do administering them into film festivals. So my channel got like tagged for, I think in 2022 copyright things had changed, and we used to be able to use certain content, and now that's illegal. But I did a documentary on El Finito Ricardo Lopez, and I remember watching his tape, and it was one of the ones that took me the longest because I kept delaying the edits because I kept watching more and more fights from him and kept clipping out certain fights. I was like, dude, look at this guy. Nobody talks about him. This dude's an animal. And I think even right now, these smaller guys, people kind of just lose interest because the mainstream boxing sites don't talk about him.
He retired undefeated. He's the greatest minimum weight of all time.
50-0 with one draw.
Like,
Insane.
what are
With
they
38
talking about here?
knockouts. 38 knockouts, like a huge knockout to win ratio at that weight.
It's
So
insane. Poetry in
we were
motion,
talking.
one of the best, if not the best, same side puncher I've ever seen. The way he could punch left hand to left hand, right hand to
Yeah.
right hand, it's as good as it gets. It's
Yes.
legitimately as good as it gets.
It's one of the most frustrating things I was with Liam last night, Liam Paro, is because he never throw his lead hook off the jab. He wasn't even throwing his lead hook. It was just all boom, boom, foot feint backhand. And I'm like, mate, throw a goddamn lead hook, because at that time in the mid to late rounds, either um, David Popo had a great poker face. It looked like he was probably more hurt than he was showing because he wasn't punching rounds 10, 11, and 12.
That's
It's
what I'm
like
saying. He
perfect.
didn't put his foot on the gas at all.
Yeah, I know. And he kept getting caught. He was letting Popo one punch him, and that was kind of like a little bit of a tail sign, like, oh shit, you could catch Liam with those shots. It's a bit domestic-y, it's not really world level sort of thing.
Is
So
the boy?
let's get to some of these comments. Hand history vault. Boots by stoppage is risky. Boots doesn't press enough. He's fine coasting. Guys, this is going to be Boots' first fight at 54. We know he's massive. It's for the IBO world title. In some parts of the world, the IBO is looked at as a legit belt. We know it's not part of the major four. Lima, his introduction to 154, you could think of one or two ways with Boots. He's going to be super aggressive and want to put on a show, or he's going to want to get his feet wet. I haven't really watched tape yet on Lima. Have you on Lima yet, Nick?
I've only seen one fight, which was it against? Was it the Indian fighter Shandori? I'm horrible with name pronunciation, y'all. So forgive me for any bad name pronunciation. His last
Yeah.
fight against his Indian fighter. Lima's a solid fighter in terms of he's literally a shit brick house. He is solid as hell. He's sturdy. He's going to be hard to be moved and pushed. And while I think Boots is one of the most talented pound for pound fighters there is, especially as an American boxing fan, he kind of suffers from that. I hate to call it the Ben Whitaker syndrome, as I call it. He can get out any of his opponents there, but he's too willing to show the flashy shots and show his feet and show his work as compared to going downhill on these fighters and really tagging and bagging them. I don't want to give a official prediction on it yet, but I would more so lean to Boots on the points. But I'm going to finish up my tape study before that actual fight and bust that one out. We do need to talk about. We should talk about Collazo Vayson too.
Let's do it.
Did you tape that one, if I may ask?
Yeah, Yeah. I haven't uploaded it, but I've done my due diligence. And Jason Vayson, man, is not going to come there to just get walked over. Like I watched the way I watched the. I think they just had the either the weigh-ins or the face-offs. This fight is tomorrow, or is this fight
It's Saturday.
Sunday? Yeah.
I'm
So
I'm highly thinking about. It's 3.5 hours for me. I'm highly thinking about taking the drive over there and actually watching it.
yeah,
It's in a
it'd be
small
good to see
casino
both
3 hours
guys.
away.
Vayson only has one loss. He's a younger guy. They're kind of like the intangible, same height. Colosso's instant electricity. How do you see this one going? I'm not getting any props, by the way. I'm only getting money line.
Okay, so I gave this out in the Discord already. I just kind of left a comment. I haven't dropped my official breakdown and prediction, but I will be having that uploaded within the next 12 hours, I would say. I just have to
Yep.
actually film it. So Basin is tough and gritty. He's gonna come there and he's going to fight. It comes back down to where I think that's gonna be his downfall. The issue is here, he is so limited offensively. He has good combination shots to the body, a good inside uppercut, but he can't fight from the long range and he can't fight from the mid range. He was getting tagged by, I'm sorry if I kill this name pronunciation, y'all. Shane Belang, Shane Belang Marbabang, which is Shane Belang Marbabang. He was getting tagged in the first few rounds with heavy shots with zero head movement, walking forward upright, not much dip to his chip. Not when I say dip to his chip, no knee bend, not moving his
Hmm.
shoulders or rolling whatsoever, just
Hmm.
upright and a hittable target. And Oscar Collazo is extremely athletic, extremely sneaky, has good power. He will be the smaller fighter here because Vayson will be more physically strong. I like the under 8.5 here, but I think it's going to be one of those unders like Iglesias Shishkin where we could be sweating it a little bit. I think
Yeah.
it probably gets stopped more so in the 6th, 7th, 8th round comparatively because Basin is tough, Basin is gritty, and he will come there to fight. But I just think the accumulative damage after the first 4 rounds, and with his lack of variation, his lack of defensive responsibility, I think it all just kind of leads downhill to where Oscar Collazo is world level.
Yeah.
Country Mile is no doubt world level, could move up and challenge champions at the next weight class up. As compared to Vason, uh, I don't think he is.
I think I have Oscar Collazo like top 20, flirting in my top 20 pound for pound. I think he's that good. He just had he's not a household name. People
Nope.
have never seen him fight or never watched him fight. You only got to watch him a couple times to see what he's bringing to the table. The head movement thing, it's kind of one of these
LOL.
things
Who?
that like you never want to be known for being a tough guy. Doesn't slip. Kind of like how Jin Sasaki, a lot of the Japanese fighters will fight front footed, take one to give one. When you're going against a big puncher, man, that's Russian roulette.
I find that so funny that you say that. Is Vason one of my literal notes here? Loads up the gun and plays Russian roulette.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
just find if you go watch his Ayuki his Seigio Ayuk fight, guys. Again, I'm so sorry about the name pronunciations. It
It's
is
all the
horrific.
little guys. It's all these little guys from like Taiwan or
It
Thailand
kills
and
me.
yeah, Japan. Really
It's
hard names to pronounce.
They kill me, man. And I'm never been great with name pronunciations ever in my life. But with I have to hear them. If I hear it, I'll be able to reverberate it back. But with
Yeah,
that being said, man, he was literally standing there, forehead to forehead, leaning on each other with Ayuki, and just trading rock'em sock'em rosebots. Let's see who falls first. And he got cleared 10 rounds to 0 in that fight doing that.
yeah.
Like Collazo is gonna hit there. He is again, Basin is tough. He's sturdy, he has a good base, but we've seen him dropped, we've seen him rocked. So
You,
I think
you know
Collazo
what?
gets him out of there under.
Yeah, you know what? When you have that style, strong base, solid base, when you want to exchange, when you're going against a guy who could get angles on you, who also has speed and power, that's usually when guys get stopped. I could see Kayatso playing that game, angling him, biting on a feint, and stopping him. The body work is going to be there. Julius says Kayatso is the only amateur standout at the lower weight classes. I've watched every Kayatso Golden Boy fight. He's in a league of his own.
Agreed.
Julius, how do you how much do you think he could go up? Because that's usually the question. Can he climb and bring that skill set from minimum weight to other weight classes? Nick, you said that he could.
I think I always like to think where I cap a limit is because he already said if he's not going to get that unification fight with Turadon after this fight, if he wins this one, he's going to move up.
Yeah,
So he
yeah.
deserves that unification fight. There's also Jerusalem out there. I'd like to see the Jerusalem unification fight. I forgot to note this about Vason. Vason loses his base. He literally punches himself off. You saw in round 3 against the Charbelong fight. he literally punches himself into the ropes and falls over. Where they had to question if it was a knockdown or not. So
Mm.
that's another thing. You brought up the angles about Collazo. Collazo
Yeah.
could catch him losing his base off an angle with his chin way out there, crack him clean, man. So I think
So let's.
realistically, the Fundora Collazo knockout parlay, even though it's probably only minus 120, it's a minus 290 by Collazo by knockout, and Fundora is minus 175. So you actually may get plus money on that one here. That's a super safe parlay to me, is Fundora and Collazo by knockout. Don't even sweat the rounds. Just know at some point it's going to happen.
So 55% of the subscribers on my channel come from North America. What betting app are you using when you're talking about? Because I'm not getting on any of the, I'm not getting over and unders down here in Australia, and I'm not getting even method of victories for Collazo. So what app are you using to get these odds?
So, mate, I search for variants. I use all the apps in North America:
Are
DraftKings,
you allowed?
Fanatics,
Is it
FanDuel,
different state to state?
Bet three
Because
six
some,
five as well. It is
the,
different state to state. So, for example, a lot of people got their Nova. For example, Abraham Nova, Raymond Ford. Some people in some states got closed out on their ticket. Me, Arizona, they voided that book completely. That fight, all my tickets got voided early and often. I didn't have to wait, thankfully. They voided it right away before the fight even started. They said that, I've noticed there's been some weird regulations in Arizona. Let me just quickly go on a quick rant. I'll be quick about this.
no
Emmanuel
worries.
Navarrete versus Oscar Valdez. There may have been some weird workings in the background of that fight because Oscar Valdez versus Navarrete in their last fight, Arizona took the whole top ranked card off of the books, and they didn't allow boxing betting for about a week and a half after that. And ever
Okay.
since then, our odds have been extremely restricted. I can't see as many pro box OTX fights.
Yeah, I don't get those.
I don't even get some Australian fights. It's absolutely insane. Like, for example, I couldn't even bet on Jacob NG last night by knockout if I wanted to. And I saw on some domestic books that he had plus money by knockout. So
Yeah, okay. So Evie, Julius answered my question. He thinks Collazo could go up to 108. All right, I could. So yeah, so not every fighter could do that. You know, some fighters stay where they are, and that's another side conversation on what needs to be spoken about on the brilliance of Bud being able to win titles at 35, 40, 47, 54, and 68. And today I heard a mainstream perspective. I'm not saying I was the first to say this, but I've never heard anyone say this until today. I think Crawford, because legacy, he's already done it 3 times undisputed. He ties Oscar. If he wins another, if I say he goes to 160 and fights Lara and becomes and takes his belt, because that would make him a 6th division world champion. De La Hoya is a 6th division world champion. I think I heard the guy who does a show on Instagram. You'd be shocked with how little content I watch in terms of content creators.
no,
But
I wouldn't be, just so you know. I don't. There's one content quote unquote creator in the boxing space I watch, and he's very small. His name's Charlie Hahn. It's my dog
okay,
Charlie Hahn. He's a great dude, but I don't
yeah,
watch like the show business of the world or
yeah,
the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Two
No,
Tones
no,
of the
but
world. Which Two Tone and me have the same barber, which is hilarious because Two Tone's bald. But but that's not. I'm not making a joke either. That's a fact. That's an actual
okay.
fact.
I don't even know who that is, but so
See,
you're
it's
saying,
just
so a bald dude goes to a barber? Or you is that are you
he has a sick ass beard, mate.
okay?
His beard's crisp, fire
Okay.
beard.
So we got TBE, the best ever says, do you think Brandon Moore? Okay, I'm glad you brought this up, TBE. Brandon Moore, he's fighting. So Chilltown sent me a message in Discord, sent me a little audio message, and he was like, Johnny, did you tape the Brandon Moore fight? And so he sent me the film on him. And his opponent, he's 10-0 with 10 knockouts. I have never seen a more. I'm trying to think of a positive adjective here to put behind DeAndre Savage's name without shading him. He's a 625 underdog. He's 10-0 with 10 knockouts. Mate, it's not good. When you watch DeAndre, when you watch his tape, it's not good. Brandon Moore should do what Brandon Moore does.
I like Brandon Moore a lot as a fighter. I didn't tape his opponent at all, and I'll never give any BS tape claims.
Yeah,
So I don't ever. I also have a habit. I never tail anybody without doing my own tape.
of
But
course,
this
of
is one of the
course.
this is one of those rare cases where I may just have to trust the boys,
Yeah,
and maybe just sprinkle it on a parlay. To be
here
honest
we
with
go.
you, mate.
You take the odds are shit, but you take Brandon Moore by stoppage at $1.36. Gabby's $1.36. You're getting 170. You go heavy on that. This is for the big boys. 10 grand gets you 7 grand. Let's go. Some of the boys bet like that. Some of
Oh,
the
I
big
know.
boys,
I
you
talked to
know.
Muscles, mate. I be
Yeah,
seeing some of Muscles tickets. My
yeah.
bad to put my boy on blast. I did
No,
not
no,
mean
no.
that.
No. Everybody, he's come on the show. People know who he is. Muscles is
But
a huge
that's
hitter.
a
He
good
talks about it.
bankroll. That's a good bankroll builder, though, mate.
Yeah,
Like you,
yeah,
I don't understand what's people's issues with running away from money. Like,
yeah.
think about this here. If I bet $100 to win $66, or let's just think about it like this: if I'm walking my dog and I see $66 on the ground, you think I'm not going to pick it up?
Exactly.
Hell yeah, I'm gonna pick that up. Are you kidding
You,
me? Good
you,
bankroll builder. It's good management.
you know what it is though. Psychologically, of impulse. It's the microwave culture. People want to get rich quick, and that shows up in every element of life. Whether you're a guy who would just go order Uber Eats, or a guy who prepares his own meals, or a bettor who bets $10 trying to win 2 million, or a guy who bets 10 grand to just get 70% return. So it just comes down to, I think, psychology and understanding of the game.
Yeah, I mean, I've never been a big parlay betters. Parlays always bite me in the ass, man.
Oh, dude.
It says on my Twitter, literally, no one could 1 for 2 a parlay like I can. It's just a fact. It's just a
Yeah,
fact. Like, there's literally no one on planet Earth I think that's missed, and everyone I'm sure always says that, but they're the devil, mate. Like, I'm so
yeah,
glad that I bet Liam Wilson 1 through 5 at plus 390 yesterday by
yeah.
itself because I
But
woke up
bro,
and I was still a happy camper.
But my dude, I was telling this in the Discord. Liam Wilson will go life and death with a clubber, and he'll go life and death with a world champion.
With
He has no.
Navarrete.
He is the worst to bet on because every time you bet on Liam, you're stressed out. Like, oh my god, and how dare the commentary last night? Michael Zarafa, shout out to Zarafa, that's my guy. He goes, one of Liam Wilson's best attributes is his fight IQ. I go, what are you talking about? His fight IQ got him stopped against Valdez. His fight IQ, I felt Jackson John England beat Liam Wilson. His fight IQ, not being switched on, got him stopped against Navarrete, which, we know that was controversial. But yeah, I felt that was insane. Liam Wilson, man, tough guy to bet on.
Dude, you know what's funny is
Stress.
Liam Wilson's one of those fighters that fights way older than he is. Liam Wilson's
Stress.
still in his 20s.
20s.
He's still in
20s,
his
dude.
20s.
Dude,
You look at his career in totality, it blows you away. You're like, "What the
yeah.
fuck?" Excuse my
Yeah, dude.
language.
Liam on the domestic level scene here, Liam is a guy that is known as a big puncher, power puncher. They
I'm going
call
to
his
grab my
left hook.
charger, Johnny. I'm on 5%. Give me 1 quick second, mate.
Yeah, go charge it. I'll keep it up. So I'm going to talk to the boys. Chat. What's up? Gimme Mine says I hate Bet USA so much. DJ Green says, bruh, DeAndre Savage got dropped by Jake Paul in sparring. I didn't know that. DJ, I just watched the tape. If you guys if you want the tape that TJ sent me, I can put it in the Discord. Gimme Mines. I know a big dog, but his usual bets are under 300. Rudy Pedraza, rebet in California. Okay, so the boys are sharing their books. Are you guys getting props on Gabby? Are you getting props on Brandon? Let me know. Are you getting props on Collazo? Because if anything, I might just play the stoppage and take Oscar, Brandon, and Gabby on a 3-legger stoppage. So
You could
I'm just not. I'm not getting those props though.
if you go on Bet365, I don't know if they have them in Australia yet.
I got it.
In
I got.
Bet365 here in Arizona, they
Yeah.
have the same game parlays still available right now.
Okay.
So a way I would play this, and I would feel pretty comfortable playing it, is Gabby by stoppage over 4.5 rounds, and that gets you minus 120.
Nice.
So, and I think that's great value. You could play that straight heavy. You could add it.
Yeah.
I don't recommend add to a parlay. I'm playing that straight heavy.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I think Kubicki is no doubt tough enough. No doubt tough enough to stand in there for minimum 4 rounds. And again, Gabby is someone that likes to find her footing in fights. She likes to
Rhythm.
slowly but surely build.
Yeah.
So I love that parlay, mate. I think Gabby
All
knockout
right,
over 4.5.
boys, we just did it. DJ Green's on board. Nick's on board. I'm on board. I think that's going to be my play, guys. I did the parlay last night. We won. I think I'm just going to go more Gabby Collazo. Watch the weekend fights. Those three. I'm going to put that up in the Discord. I like that.
That's the live parlay of the day. I'm with that.
Yeah.
I'll
Yeah.
send you my
I'm going to play
ticket.
that.
I'll lock in
I'm
my
going to play
ticket
that.
with y'all.
I'm not getting OTX odds. Are you? Like, you brought up OTX. I guess there's an OTX card.
I mean, I got Tierra Brown. The only fight I have is Tierra Brown. A lot of people on my Twitter, I have to tape this fight, so I don't want to say anything or like tape prediction. Is everyone keeps hitting me up? Like 4 people hit me up about Gorham versus Alamo, the Alamo fight. You remember when Alamo dropped Liam Paro? I
Oh,
don't know.
Yomar. Oh,
Oh,
Yomar
Yomar
Alamo.
Alamo.
Yeah.
I have a lot of people that I trust and respect. They're saying, dude, look into this. He may be a
But
live dog.
Yomar Alomar, he seems like he's 48 years old. I think he's only 30. I think he's 20-4.
That
I
Liam
think,
Wilson effect.
yeah, he dropped Liam. Liam won a close decision. Richardson, he's fought Hitchens. He's been in there with a lot of guys. It's just gonna. I haven't taped it though. No one's. I think it was brought up in the Discord. People have been asking about it. Have they been telling you on Twitter that Alamo is upset? Sort of upset alert. He could win.
A lot of people are. They think
Oh shit.
they think Gromar is getting a lot
Brian
more
Brayon
prep from the pictures he
Bri-
took.
Brian. I think it's pronounced Brian.
Bryant.
It's
Okay, wait.
it's spelled Breyon.
Oh, I was trying to. Oh, okay. That's all it is. Bryant. That's
Yeah.
easy money then in that case here.
Yeah,
So
he's from I think I'm pretty sure he's an American. I think he might be from Brian Gorham. Check him
I
out.
think
No, he could crack.
well, that's what they were saying. So people were saying that they weren't impressed with his tape. So not giving out a play on it, y'all. Just simply saying I need to do my tape. And a lot of people I trust are saying this is a possible upset alert. So
Okay.
I think it's definitely something to look into. I'm gonna look into it because I have odds on ESPN Bet too. By the way, for my folks in North America, if you're looking for the best odds boxing wise, I think it's easily Bet 365 or ESPN Bet. ESPN Bet is super underrated for boxing. You get some great live odds, especially too. So that's definitely something to keep in mind. So
So Alamar's fought at the world level. He's been in there with world
multiple
champions.
times,
Yeah,
Hitchens, Paro.
This is Gorham's only. It's only his second time fighting a 10-rounder. Why people are high on him is because he's only 24. He's 20-0 with 16 knockouts, and sometimes they get it wrong. You know what I mean? So they obviously think this guy is the next one up. I mean, what's his best win? He won a unanimous decision against Luis Feliciano, and then fought a bunch of club guys. Baltazar, 5-6 rounder, 8 rounder. He's not. Yeah, I got to watch more of him. But we know what we're getting with Yomar Alamo, though. Yomar Alamo is going to know how to operate. Like I said, that experience, 4 losses, only been stopped once. Maybe that's something to look at. I got to look into it.
I mean, when all your losses are at world level, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And shout out to DJ Green, worth a sprinkly dinkly, bruh. I'm stealing that, dog. I
What did
can't
he
help.
say?
He said Yomar Def worth a sprinkly dinkly, bruh.
Yeah. Look who
I
Yomar's
just
been
love.
in there with. Oh, there's Kane. I was talking about you earlier on a live stream. We got Kane's an amateur boxer. I was talking about the amateur scene. He said, "What do you think about Kay versus Curry?" So Kay? We're talking about Kay Scott, 41-year-old Aussie. She doesn't look 41, super fit, in shape. She had a nice little amateur career. I think she either medaled or won a gold at the Commonwealth Games. Maybe Kane could answer that for me. She's a bit, I think the odds have it as a 50-50 fight. I'm not going to sit here, Kane, and tell you I'm going to bet the house on those two ladies. But I definitely think that people are probably overlooking Kay Scott. You give me your plus money 230 against Olivia Curry. I think it's worth a sprinkle. I'd have to watch more though.
I'm not overly familiar with either of those females.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna be
it's
honest about it. So
it's one of those fights that aren't on my. She's an Aussie and Kane lives in Australia.
oh,
So
okay.
DJ FanDuel, decent with multiple. It's
Yeah,
wild, man. You got dude
FanDuel
putting.
actually does have a Yomar by knockout and decision plus 1,000 for each, actually. So
Holy shit!
if you're making like a what you call like a screw it parlay, right? Where
Yeah,
or just take them each straight by themselves. It's one of
a
those things where if
throwaway.
Yomar
I
wins,
call it a throwaway. A
legit,
throwaway.
like you put a unit on each of them regardless, you're down 2 units, right? If Yomar happens to win, then you're up regardless 8 units. But if he loses, you're just down 2 units. You're not that mad regardless. So
Yeah, some of the boys were saying that the Tiger Johnson fight, Alamo, that was a horrible decision. I've heard people say Alamo beat Tiger Johnson. He's only been stopped against Hitchens. He dropped Liam Paro. This is a big step. He fought Jermaine Ortiz, one of my favorite fighters. I think Jermaine Ortiz will be a world champion. So his resume obviously is better than the young kids. It's the biggest step
he
up
did
for.
Ortiz
Yeah,
did what he had to do in his last fight. Thankfully, he went out. I was looking forward to the Claggett fight.
Claggett, same,
I'm not gonna
same,
lie. I was looking forward to
same,
the
dude.
Claggett fight. So,
Dude, Steve Claggett's style, man. He was frustrating Teofimo Lopez, man. People were.
dude, T.O.
That
is the
fight
most
was way
hot and cold
closer.
fighter by definition. He either
Yeah,
he is one of those fighters that they say fights to his opposition. It's by
yeah,
definition, mate.
yeah.
The way T.O. looked against Loma, the way he looked against Josh Taylor, completely different fighter than who against Claggett, Sandor Martin, who I'm not gonna lie, watching live, I thought Martin eked out that fight. So
Dude, Sandor Martin, man, Sandor Martin, another guy people sleep on. If this dude didn't give away the last 30 seconds of so many rounds, Sandor Martin probably should have beat Alberto Puello. Sandor Martin,
100%.
very close fight. He's just
I scored it for Martin over Puello.
always in these close ass fights, and he doesn't do anything exceptionally well, but he does a lot of the little things consistently. And he doesn't have a lot of knockouts on his record, but he's a tough out for anybody. So when I think Claggett fought Matthew Germain. Matthew Germain was the guy who went over to the UK to fight the kid who's going to fight Subaru Matias.
Kelly?
Dalton Smith. Dalton Smith.
Dalton Smith. I mixed up
Yeah.
Josh Kelly and Dalton Smith.
Yeah.
Bachman's fighting Kelly. My apologies.
Yeah, is that official?
Well, the IBF, didn't they go to purse bids? I don't know if
Dude,
they
I'd love to see that fight, man. I know Josh. I'm friends with him.
I'm not.
He's been waiting for a fight like this for so long. People judge Josh on like the Ray Robinson draw. They judge on the Ava Nation when Ava stopped. Dude, Ava Nation's a good pro, world level Ava. And since that loss, though, Josh became a little bit more economically efficient with his energy output, with his defense. Kind of like what Boots does. I would love to see
less
Boots,
flashy with his style too as well.
I would love to see Boots versus Kelly, man.
I have to be honest with you. I think Bachram's the most beatable champion at 154. I think
people love him.
The rehydration clause definitely helps him out a little bit in this case with the IBF rules. But I think Bachram is the most bread and butter of all the champions. I think he has the least variation of all of them, and I no doubt think he's the most hittable of all the champions. So, just kind of my thoughts there. I think it's a winnable fight for Josh Kelly. I'm just going to say that.
People, I think if you're judging a guy, people are judging on what Bachram looked like in his last fight, which their logic is flawed if they're doing this. What did Bachram look like in his last fight versus what Josh looked like 5 fights ago? You know what I'm saying? So it's like, if you're going to judge Bachram on what he looked like on his last fight, Josh knocked out Flavio Bea in the first round, an undefeated padded record guy. I got him at a plus 190 stoppage. That was one of my favorite prop bets. But if you're going to use the same logic, then what did Bachram look like the fight before? He looked sluggish. Bachram, the fight before, was going life and death to get that victory, I think, in the 11th. And, the knock on him was it was during the month of Ramadan. He was fasted. And then the fight against Tim, man, it was just so, like, tailor-made, like you said. Tim Tszyu, one of the lowest IQ game plan fights I've ever seen. Let me just come straight forward. Let me get buzzed. Let me come straight forward. Let me not I want to see Bachram answer some questions at the highest level. I think people are sleeping on Kelly's athleticism. I think they're sleeping on his speed. I think they're sleeping on his power. And I think they're sleeping on how tricky he is. And
you said the right word, tricky. He's going to cut angles and he's going to turn Bachram. As compared to, think about this. Tszyu was coming in a straight line, head on the line, face magnet by definition. And then you're going to have Josh Kelly who's going to be cutting angles and turning angles and actually punching in multiple different levels and variations. So I think it's a winnable fight for Kelly pre-tape. And again, Bachram, I just think I don't want to use the term overrated, but that's the only term I can think about. I think he's overrated.
So we got 54, the landscape. It's one of my favorite divisions. I know David Eister's watching the live. He actually doesn't like the division. He claims it's not his favorite division. He likes 140.
I like 120. I think 126 and 154 are easily my 2 favorite. 126 is slept on.
Yeah, my favorite fighter. Rafa Espinoza at 26 is a goddamn animal, dude.
Dude, every champion at 126 is awesome, dude. Espinoza. People hate on Nick Ball. I love Nick Ball. Yeah. Angelo Leo is crafty as hell.
Angelo Leo, yep. And then Rafa.
And then Rafa, of course.
I'm
missing Ball, Leo, Rafa. Who's the Fulton just vacated technically.
Yeah,
moving up
to go to 30.
Yeah,
and we'll see. They're
Mirko Coelho's coming up too as well. Mirko Coelho's a good boxer, mate.
And you got Shushu there. You got Bruce Carrington waiting for a breakout. We'll see. He looked good. Shushu looked good against my boy. God damn it. No.
Because Segal won that one.
Dana Colwell, deadly Dana Colwell. He dropped Dana.
I should have known that from the Aussie. Because he didn't look good. He didn't look good against the Ghanan they just brought it. I'm not high on Shushu, man. And it comes down to one thing for me and one thing only. And you've heard me. I've said it 3 times on the stream. It's going to be the 4th time I've said it. Same thing with Liam Paro. Gears.
Oh,
Dude,
gears.
Shushu has no gears, man. Like, he is so okay with coasting in first and third and being pushed in neutral. Like, I just want to see Shushu go through the gears.
Well,
He is so talented. He has all the variation, all the cardio in the world. He does all the right things. But man, he didn't go through the gears, mate. Like, and we're starting
people
to
were
see here
saying
with Solomon Sagawa, that close fight, how good Sagawa is. Like, and
Seagal was good.
Sagawa's only lost to good fighters. Oshaki, Nova, uh,
No,
Shushu. So
he won his money. No, he just fought, man. We got him at plus money. That was insane. But I look at Carrington is I think 28 now, 29. He did take some years off. I look at Carrington. Maybe I could be wrong on this. Maybe it's a miss. Just how people, because I've always been high on Hitchens. I liked him as an amateur. I liked the physical skill set Richardson always brought. And going into the George fight, I said Richardson is just missing that viral moment. So we got him at like plus 350 to stop George. I was like, all Richardson needs is that moment where he's jumping on the ropes after a stoppage that goes viral. And now mentally, he's checked in there. He has all this, and that's what we saw. And I can't wait to see Hitchens again post George. And I think that's what Carrington needs. I think Carrington sometimes you're saying going through the gears, but a lot of times, how do you do that? You have to be confident in your skill set. You have to pull the trigger. Not going through this gears with him isn't a skill set issue. It's a psychological issue. It's being able to sort of bet on yourself, put yourself in vulnerable situations, punch with your opponent. You know what I'm saying? Like I want to see you punching with your opponent. Not every guy could do that. So I do agree with you on that. I'm just not. I'm not throwing him away just yet. I think there's something there with Shushu.
oh, I'm also not throwing him away. He just has that. It's just an issue with that. It's that barrier. Once I see him get past that, I would love to see it happen because I
Does
think
he have a fight?
Shushu is
Does
great
he have
for
a fight coming
American
up?
boxing. What'd you say?
Yeah. Does he have a fight coming up? Does Carrington?
Shushu? No. I'm assuming since he is the interim WBC champion now, is it the WBC? There's so many organizations, but the one that Fulton just vacated from, I'm assuming in this case that he'll either get moved up to the full champion and have a unified fight at that point.
Yeah.
But there's nothing on the books here. I'd like to see
Yeah.
Nick Ball versus Shushu. Give me Nick Ball versus Shushu. Like,
That's a good fight.
give me
That's a
Nick
good
Ball. Give
fight.
me Nick Ball for Shushu. Shushu needs that fight of someone that's going to push him to the level to where he's
Do
going to
you,
have to go through the gears. And
do you think
honestly, everyone,
Carrington beats Sam Goodman?
yeah,
I actually would probably take Goodman. Goodman,
really,
man.
dude,
I
you're
don't know.
high on Goodman. You're
I don't know.
high on Goodman.
I know. I picked Nick Ball though. I did pick Nick Ball. That was where my flip flop worked in my favor because earlier in the week I had Sammy Boy, and then once I watched the tape, Sammy fought him well, and Nick Ball did what he had to do to get the victory. But does where Carrington is in his maturation? Because Goodman's only 26. Goodman's young. He seems like he's 40, but
And
he's young.
Goodman got some really quality championship rounds taking a minimal amount of damage against Nick
Yeah,
Ball. So
and
that's big.
he has a lot of craft to him, and he has a lot of class. There's a lot of level. Like Goodman is a really tough boxer, and I think that he could push Carrington. And I don't know, man. I think that stylistic matchup, Goodman's activity, his class. I don't know. I'd like to see that fight. That's all I'm going to say.
I'd like to see Shushu versus someone like Mirko Coelho or Nick Ball. Those are
Oh,
the fights
Nathaniel
that I would like to
Collins.
see. Like,
We hit big, Mar the Prince. That's because you and me hit big when Nathaniel beat Lee McGregor. All the boys were taking Lee McGregor in that all Irish dust up. Did you have money on that fight? Do you remember that?
no, I
Collins
didn't.
versus Lee. It was all
I am
Scotland.
high on Jan Santana though as well, Mar. I love Jan Santana. I've
Tito
taken him in
Nakano,
his
Jan
last two fights.
Santana at 26. Yeah, you said 26 is people sleep on 26, didn't you? You think Jan Santana could be a world champion there, Nick?
Um, I think he can push a lot of guys. I think he can push a lot of guys here. How did I not forget Nakano, bro? Didn't isn't Nakano? Isn't he moving up to 130?
I
Am
haven't
I?
seen him.
I
I have.
think he's. I could be wrong here, Mar. Maybe I'm tripping. I think Nakano's moving up to 130. I brought up that I wanted to see him and Moxageo fight. Mark
Maxio.
Moxageo versus Nakano. I'm sorry,
Yeah,
again, my name
it's
pronunciation.
all good. No, it's all good.
Seeing those two scrap would be something. If I'm not mistaken, I think Nakano moved up to 130. I could be wrong, Mar, but I like Jan Santana a lot, a lot, a lot.
Nakano, 14-0, 13 knockouts.
Dude,
This
Nakano's
guy,
good as shit, bro. Like,
Southpaw, Southie,
good as hell. He has that fencing kind of style where he leaps in and out.
point,
Like,
point.
it's so sick. And he pops when he sets down on his shots. When he sets down, he turns over his punches. Great hips. Absolutely incredible hips. He's a good fighter. Mar knows his shit, bro. I love when Mar
Yeah.
be in the
No,
live, man.
we got to educate a chat, man. You know that. I
Yeah,
always tell the
100%.
chat, I learn just as much from the chat that they learn from me, man. It's one of my favorite things about doing what I
That's what
do,
I
man.
come to learn when I'm doing my lives as well. I learn from
Yeah.
everybody, bro. It's so
Yeah.
sick.
Dude,
And
and
again,
I what
I'm not writing off Shushu before anyone thinks I am. It's just I
yeah.
haven't seen him go through the gears.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all
no,
it is. It's the same issue I have with Raymond Ford. I'm so high on Raymond Ford. Like I'm
are you?
overly high on Raymond Ford. I'm very
Okay.
high. I think
Yeah.
Raymond Ford has everything you need from shape, pace, cardio, toughness, grit, athleticism, punch variation. He can fight at all three levels, but he has two things that I can't get over.
I
He
want to see
lacks
more output. I want to see volume. Go on.
he exactly output volume, and he has so many negative lulls where he'll literally in mid fight stop, stare, and wait for you instead of him going forward. Him going forward, like Raymond Ford could be smoking and stopping everybody he fights. Like I had an issue with his gears in the Matias fight. I had issues with his gears in after the Matias fight. Who did he fight after or before Matias when he moved up? I'm having a mind block. And again with Nick Ball, that Nick Ball fight was so close that he could have taken the fire out of the dragon's mouth, but he allowed Nick Ball to plaster him against the ropes and tee off on him with the ball on the body. He lacks optics, man.
Ray Ford didn't fight Subriel Matias.
No,
Maybe
Thomas Matisse. I thought it was
Thomas. Matt. Oh, the Gunner Man. Thomas
Gunnaman. Yeah,
Matisse
I'm
from
sorry, bro. My name
from
pronunciation's
uh,
killing everybody.
from Cleveland.
Nah, that's a completely different weight
Dude,
class.
from Cleveland, Ohio. Yeah, but
Yeah,
dude, that fight was super frustrating. Thomas Matisse though fought so negative. He was
dude.
moving the entire time. But you're right. And I don't think Matisse was way bigger that fight too though. Ford was. I like what I've seen from Ford as of late, but I just feel it's an offensive, once again, a psychological issue that it's not a skill issue. He has all the skills in the world. A lot of people are
100%.
really high on him. Some people even
I'm very
argue
high.
that he some people even argue that he's going to be, pound for pound in the top 10 sooner rather than later. So
I think he can beat any champion at 130. I really believe that. I think he beat Sugar. I think him and Kakache fight. I thought he would have dusted up
you think
Kakache.
he beats,
The only
dude? I
issue is
think,
Kakache may have pushed him to a dark place. And Pete Terrell, shout out to you for knowing Mirko Coelho as well. Real player at 126. I think Mirko
dude,
Coelho can beat any champion on his night. So
those fights though at 30, man, Raymond Ford versus Kakache or Raymond Ford versus Sugar, boy, I don't know. I just don't know if Ray has the volume to keep a guy like Nunes off of him.
yeah, I think Nunes can get outboxed. I
Yeah,
think Nunes
yeah,
can get outboxed. And I
we hit
think
a plus. Yeah, we hit a lot of money on that fight going to the distance. Sugar by decision,
it's
like plus
crazy.
550. Yeah.
I missed the boat. I missed the boat. I didn't even bet on that fight, and I missed the boat, and it was like plus 500. I think I did bet on that fight. So I had the over 6.5. That's all I had was
That
the
hit.
over.
That was a
Oh,
fun
easy.
fight.
It hit without sweat. It
Yeah.
legit hit without sweat.
Yeah, Nick.
Even
Yeah,
even
Nick.
one of the knockdowns
I
that
got to
Nunes
wrap.
had wasn't even like a painful knockdown. It was more of a flash. Like I'm good. I'm good. Like
Yeah, Nick. I got to wrap this up only
oh,
because
bet.
it's your night. It's my day. I got a couple more clients today down in my gym. So hey, I appreciate you doing this. We're gonna do this a lot more. I love the collaboration. I'm gonna give you the mic. Take the closing moments and tell everybody where they can find you. Talk about the videos you just uploaded and maybe leave us with something.
Just with that being said, Breaking Bad Boxing on YouTube, y'all. If you want to follow me on Twitter, may have a few more shit posts, but nothing too serious. It's all fun, love, and games. I just dropped my Kubicki versus Fundora official prediction. I will be dropping my Oscar Collazo, Jason Vayson prediction within the next 12 or so hours. Really, I don't got much else to say, man. I appreciate the platform, Johnny. Much love to everybody I know from the chat. Much love to anybody I haven't seen before. As I always say, man, it's love, it's peace, and it's chicken grease. So I appreciate you.
I like it, man. Be good. I'll be in touch. All right.
Thank you, mate. Thank you.
All right. See ya. All right, guys. I'm gonna stay on for a couple minutes, like always. I'll just see if any of you guys got any questions. B Money in the house, Swaggy on paper. You think Ford should outbox Nunes? You think it's just sometimes like Nick said, Raymond. I don't want to. It's not necessarily a law in action. It's just, for me with Raymond Ford. Like I said, you're not gonna find, you know, athleticism, skill set, preparation. I think it might be a psychological thing. I think it might be a psychological thing. We'll see. Young, young. He's younger than people think. And I know earlier in the chat, one of you boys talked about Carrington. I think Shushu's 28, 29 now. Now or never with him. even who he was high on at 126. Nakano. Nakano's 14-0 with 13 knockouts. He's already 30 years old. So, hopefully he starts getting bigger fights. Guys, I'm going to lock it up. I'm going to lock it down. I appreciate everybody supporting the channel. All the new Johnny Says Boxing VIPs. Go to the Discord. Join our community. I'll see you guys on the next.